Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a veteran, welcome back. Today's topic is going to be do
Why would what dog protects? Or
leader. If you're a leader, meaning the human, or just in general, leaders. Will the dog protect the leader, kind of thing?
will the dog protect the leader? Yes.
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
No. Yeah.
Right.
I know. Yeah.
So, okay, the protection in defense drive. This is how it works. The that boils down together with obedience. What to teach first, obedience or protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we do the obedience out of drive, we are establishing leadership position. So then when you have very strong leadership position, dogs don't protect their leaders. They gotta be in leadership position to protect you. So if you have really strong leadership position, the dog then says, you are the leader. You go protect. You bite him, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I always say it's probably better first start the protection and then add the obedience on it later, even like 1 or 2 sessions later,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not very far apart. And the dog, in order to protect you, I'm talking in defense drive, real protection, not prey drive. You cannot be in leadership position. You got to relinquish the leadership position to the dog.
Yeah.
And then the dog feels duty to protect you, right? That's how it works. And what you do is you teach the dog like you are like I like to say like you are like a general who is in charge, right? And he sends platoon into the combat. That's a dog. Platoon is a dog. And he tells the platoon or platoon leader, tells him, go ahead, kick ass. And then they let him kick the ass until the general decides it's done. So he says, okay, stop and come back. And it's basically the same thing you do, with your dog. You relinquish your leadership position temporarily to the dog by giving him alert command. That's why when we command the dog, the way I teach it is to show a little fear, right? So we growl the command, but then you go into a high-low kind of pattern of the voice, like, Pozor! Pozor!
Yeah.
And the dog feels like you're scared, so he feels like to protect you.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, a lot of dogs which are like, I'm not going to say any of my students, but some of my students have really strong obedience, so the dog is very submissive to them.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do protection.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you brought it up. I mean, you brought it up in class.
Yeah. Well, in class, but this is
Yeah.
not. So what we do, we tie the dog to the fence, right?
Yeah.
And I remove the handler 20, 30 feet away from the dog.
Yeah.
And then I get the decoy to attack the handler, and you would see how the dog gets suddenly much more protective. Because now the dog feels, I got to protect my master, right? But because he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So they feel like they're in leadership position and they protect the handler. And then we get the handler closer and closer and closer to the dog. So a lot of leadership position, especially, so that's, during obedience, at first it's not really very good. So that's why I tell people when they come to the field to do protection, I tell them, don't control the dog. Let them drag you. Let them do whatever they want. Make them feel like they're in leadership position. Don't drill sergeant them into heel and sit and down, and then tell them to attack. The dog won't, You cutting your ability to achieve the genetic potential to do the protection. You limit it downwards, right? That's it. So we have any other questions about that?
No, I mean I've seen this with my own eye in the class, and the dog kind of looked at the handler like,
Yeah, a lot of times what happens is the dog feels like, oh, boo, boo, boo. And then they, oh, shit,
like,
is it okay, Dad?
Yeah.
Like,
That's why you make a point with your voice when the handler pulls on the dog. Do not correct the dog at all. They let the dog 100% be.
That's why I tie the dog to the fence so they cannot correct the dog. Right.
But I've seen it with my own eyes where the dog is like,
just they do the right thing and then they oops,
Yeah, and right away you tell the person, are you doing a lot of obedience on this dog?
And usually dog trainers who are really obedience oriented, they have that problem.
Yeah, and they say generally they can't lie to us.
They can. But,
I mean, they can.
But I see through them like through glass, man. The Czech proverb.
Yeah.
But so that's where I remove the handler away from the dog. And further you go, the influence of the handler diminishes with the square of the distance. So
the dog figures out like, whoa, he's
far away. So now, and my master is getting his ass kicked over there. I've got to protect him.
And you want to build on that.
Yeah, I build on that. And then the handler kind of creeps back to the dog and praise him for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I build him up.
Yeah.
So remember, the dogs don't protect their leader. So you gotta, by giving the dog command to alert or attack, you relinquish your leadership position to the dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of weird, not weird, but it's like if somebody's listening to this, like, well, that's interesting, right? It could be like, because it is, in a way it is. It can't, like, it doesn't, you think, oh, the dog will.
The leader always protect his underlings, right?
Yeah.
In pack.
Yeah.
Right? That's why he's leader.
Yeah.
He kicks ass, whatever, around foot and whatever, keeps the order.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when like a lion of the head of the pride fight with another lion, the subordinate lions, they just stand there and watch.
Yeah.
Right? They don't help the leader.
Yeah, just watch any nature show. It's
right,
there.
Right. So you gotta relinquish your leadership position temporarily.
Yeah.
And you do it with your voice, I said. And I personally do always the protection first.
Yeah.
Because of that effect.
If you enjoyed this content so far, please subscribe to our channel. Also, Hans has a podcast channel called Dog Training for Life. Check that out so you can listen to the audio version.
And people, oh my God, now you have the dog who is out of control. So I can always put control on the dog within 10 minutes. It's no big deal.
Yeah, but the other way is a little more,
but once you establish leadership position, a really strong one, you fighting uphill battle, right?
Yeah.
So
you can dovetail one into the other, but not the other. Like it's like,
and it goes. I've been perfectly honest. Jury is still out what to start first, and what if protection or the obedience. And I'm leaning towards protection, okay, and I can always put the obedience on later. And recently, in my thought process, I'm coming to the point that you do both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You do obedience, you do protection, or you do protection first during the session, and then you do obedience a little later. Mm-hmm. Just basically organically kind of match it together, right? It's the same, so
don't separate it too much.
So the dog sees, okay, when we do protection, I'm in charge, and when we do obedience, he's in charge.
Okay.
And dogs aren't stupid. They figure it out really quick.
Uh-huh.
But it's always important. Really, I think the best thing is just at least for 1 or 2 sessions, show the dog that they're in charge during the protection. And then later on, you can do obedience and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're like
and it's out of drive obedience, not the in drive obedience.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in out of drive obedience, you teach the dog to work for you and with you. In drive obedience, dog is working for itself, for cookies and toys, right? And I'm not against in drive obedience, but always when you do in-drive obedience, do it after you do out-of-drive obedience first.
Yeah.
In other words, out-of-drive obedience, you teach the dog to do things because you said so. And the dog does it even though he doesn't like to do it. Because what is obedience? Obedience is making dog do things they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Right? And people say, well, no, I want my dog to be happy to do. Saying, yeah, well, he's happy to chase a cat. What's happier for him, the cat or your cookie?
Yeah.
Right, cat. So you screwed, okay?
Imagine your kid says, I want my kid to be happy all the time. Like, okay, let's see how it works out. The kid is going to be the biggest brat, not going to listen to you.
Yeah. So that's another thing, like we should talk about the obstacles and all that sometimes. We need to make video. Well,
Okay.
Didn't we just do
While you shot the video of the obstacle.
Yeah, we can do that too then.
Yeah. That'd be a good one too. Yeah. And Hans is
all right.
Yeah. But what is I don't know, I forgot. Thank you for listening. Make sure you visit Alpine Canine Real, like realistic, and all the videos are there. Instructional videos, educational videos. Also, if you're looking for a puppy or a trained adult, Hans is your man. These dogs come in from the Czech Republic. They're flown in. They're not here in the States. Contact Hans. The information.
They're true Czech puppies. There are no Czech puppies from North Carolina.
Nebraska. Yeah. They really are from there. And contact Hans. The information is down below. It was there in the beginning of the video too. And please subscribe and share. And we will see you guys next time.
Ahoy.